second startup, LYRID. Let's go ahead. If you would, Becky, roll the tape.
Hello everyone, excited to be here presenting at Virtual Tech Exchange 2021. My name is Handoyo and I am the CEO of LYRID. We are a serverless platform that helps you build, deploy, execute, and manage application by leveraging serverless on Multicloud. But before we start with serverless and what we do, I want to start with the topic of multi-cloud and diversification strategy. There are so many good business motivation behind adopting this strategy. And the top identified by Gartner and all the research firms are ranging from increasing agility and availability, avoiding or minimizing vendor lock-in, and lastly, to reduce long-term operational costs. 5 years back, when I was working as a solution engineering director, I heard about all the same motivations from our development partners. However, implementing them requires us to rebuild and restructure our codes. The main reason for that is that because our software was initially built using Azure exclusively. And that's when I realized that the cost of building any cloud-native solution is always proportionally increased by the number of cloud platforms that it supports. And that will always be true due to the lack of motivation by the big cloud vendors to support these types of solutions. They're there to make sure that you put all your workload into their platform only. That's when I started thinking about how to solve this actual conundrum. I imagine if there's a tool or a platform that is built using cloud agnostic principle out of the box. A platform that is positioned well enough to be able to utilize all my assets from all my on-premise hardware vendors, along with any public cloud vendor. It automatically applies all cloud best practices and uses all the cloud principles. But it doesn't have any vendor affinity, and it doesn't rely on a single cloud to perform any of its function. It can perform this outage detection out of band. It uses another cloud platform to perform recovery and mitigate the effect of any outages. All those while still maintaining total control and security for your workload. That's what LYRID is building toward. And we start with serverless. We choose to start with serverless because of its potential. Serverless is a new cloud technology that delivers unprecedented cost savings and the speed of development. Here's some example of its potential in a banking and financial institution, such like Goldman Sachs, DBS, as well as NAB. They have created an agile engineering environment where they design serverless microarchitectures that lowers their operational costs while increases their availability. This expanded their technology footprint, reshaped their workforce, and created up to 2,000 new jobs by 2020. However, it is also well known that serverless is notoriously hard to do a multi-cloud solution. But that's where our platform differs, because we are a cloud agnostic platform from the start. LYRID Serverless Compute allows our users to code once in any of these major programming language using our template that does not contain any cloud signatures. Our hosted cloud solution wraps and built for different cloud output. We apply machine learning along with user policy to drive the deployment and the execution of the function from one cloud to another, and even to your deployment of LYRID inside your data center. During deployment, taking inspiration from Content Delivery Network, our function delivery network automatically applies cloud best practices within the platform to ensure you have the most secure deployment and distribution for your application. In the end, the user will be able to choose to dial on what's best for their organization, whether it is performance, security, or cost. Our public endpoint can be configured to proxy the application and determine the execution behavior at any given point in time. We ensure that your application availability by hosting the endpoint on multiple cloud and the ability to execute the function to multiple cloud. We built our cloud internal using Kubernetes-based APIs and design our platform to be vendor agnostic for Kubernetes as well. It is made to work on any managed or unmanaged Kubernetes platform, and we are also working to build partnership with cloud hardware infrastructure vendors like VMware to be able to deliver our experience on your data center. We are currently building solutions within the platform that encompasses different use cases, such as distributed infrastructure and proactive monitoring solution that we built on top of Prometheus, machine learning TensorFlow serverless solution that builds prediction for knowledge-based articles, a modular ERP solution to manage shipping port that runs on internal Kubernetes cluster in a data center while still leveraging public cloud during an outage, to an e-commerce partners that utilize our platform to deploy their solution rapidly and globally. So let me wrap this up by saying that LYRID is a cloud platform that is built using cloud agnostic methodology from the ground up. We are working towards a new secured ecosystem of cloud services platforms that works and plays well together. Our solution is built to empower startups, developers, as well as enterprise that wants to build, deploy, and run their code anywhere. And with that, feel free to browse through our documentation and read more about us. Please don't hesitate to contact us with any questions, and we thank you for your time to listen to our presentation.
We're back. Thank you, LYRID. And I'll get quickly to our first judge, Lucy from the Environmental Technologies Fund. Please, your question.
Thank you, Thomas. So my question will be relevant to the name of the fund. You'll see in a minute. So thank you for the pitch. Great pitch. So we've all seen in the news recently that Elon Musk has stopped accepting Bitcoin for Teslas because of the energy intensity of Bitcoin mining, which has brought attention to the energy intensity of computing in general. Is this something you can manage at all in using your product? And can you schedule or position computing jobs to go where energy is cheapest, or to be timed when energy is cheapest and cleanest?
Thank you, Lucy, for the question. That's an excellent question. And energy and performance and energy are usually, especially the consumptions of what I call cloud computing, is usually tied together with the pricing of a cloud company. And we do actually able to schedule our performance, our compute based on the timing on when is it actually cheaper on that. AWS actually have this thing when the EC2 is actually cheaper on a certain times. And we actually take into that consideration for the pricing of the hour on how we could schedule our jobs. That's how.
Great. Thank you. Quickly over to Gopi.
You talked about distributed monitoring, modular ERP, sentiment analysis, live streaming for e-commerce. What do your users like about LYRID? What are the top 2 or 3 reasons?
So the top reason that I can actually honestly say, because most of the guys that I actually work with on those solutions actually say that right up front to me, is that their ability to actually not care about the platform. So basically, they're startups themselves. They're not that, what do you call it, 100 people company. They don't usually have the manpower to do big DevOps, and we provide the things that can big guys can actually do without having to pay a lot, basically, on that, what do you call it, up front. So that's the part, and the things that we're developing, like the automatic distribution, finding where's the cheapest, and all those things are very, very intense. Very, very necessary for them to grow, basically.